Welcome to this explainer. Look, if you've ever felt completely overwhelmed at the end of the year, frantically sifting through a mountain of faded receipts and confusing payment apps, well, you are definitely in the right place. Today, we're taking a blueprint that completely transforms tax organization from this fear-inducing scramble into a genuinely empowering system for beauty professionals.
Because, let's be honest, you work incredibly hard, right? You're dealing with sore backs, tired hands, demanding clients day in and day out. But we absolutely have to address a harsh reality here. Without solid documentation, all of that hard labor, it remains completely invisible to banks, to landlords, and yes, to the IRS. You know, the industry loves, and I mean loves, to talk about making money. But the real economy, it speaks in records.
So, to fix this, we're diving into Tran's fantastic guide, The Beauty Professional Tax Blueprint. We're going to build a masterclass in gaining real financial visibility. The ultimate goal is to elevate your craft from just a daily grind to a legitimate, rock-solid business. We are going to break down exactly how you can stop living just day-to-day and actually start building proof for your entire year.
Here's our roadmap for today to untangle all that chaos. We'll cover 1. The beauty money problem. 2. Tracking fragmented income. 3. Classification of W-2 versus 1099. 4. The beauty expense map. And 5. The beauty tax calendar. Let's get right into it.
Starting off with Section 1, the beauty money problem.
Let's think about 2 totally different paths you can take in this industry. First, look at Mai. She's incredibly talented, for sure, but she relies almost entirely on her memory. She's mixing cash tips with app payments, buying her personal groceries from that exact same pool of money, and by the time tax season hits, she has zero proof of income. Just a ton of anxiety and a shoebox full of receipts that have literally faded into blank squares of paper. Now, compare that to Lynn. Lynn isn't necessarily making more money than Mai, but she relies on structured, documented facts. She separates her business and personal accounts, keeps a dedicated receipt folder, and always knows exactly where she stands. Memory is just not a business system. Lynn is winning because she has structure.
All right, moving on to Section 2, tracking fragmented income.
Let's be real. Your income does not look like a standard corporate paycheck. Money in the beauty world arrives through so many fragmented doors. Think about it. You might have a $65 gel manicure paid by card, followed by a $15 cash tip. Then someone sends $80 through Zelle, and another client prepays a $40 deposit on a booking app. Treating all of these separate streams casually creates a massive operational fog. And listen, a missing tax form doesn't just erase your income. Cash isn't invisible just because it's cash, and tips definitely aren't magically tax-free.
But hey, the good news here? Taming this chaos actually just takes a simple daily truth log, not advanced calculus. If you just record the date, the service, the tip, and the payment method at the end of every single workday, you're no longer guessing. You are building concrete financial visibility. You'll know exactly what services are actually making you money, and, more importantly, whether you can comfortably qualify for that new car loan or that apartment you've been eyeing.
Okay, Section 3, classification, W-2 versus 1099.
These labels can be super tricky, right? The industry loves to use them like shortcuts, but life inside a salon is usually way more complicated than just picking a tax form. Think of the W-2 path like an umbrella. It gives you stability, employer payroll records, and protections like workers' comp. On the flip side, the 1099 independent path is more like a rocket. It offers amazing flexibility and the ability to deduct your business expenses, but it comes with deep business responsibility, self-employment tax, and overall business risk. Neither is wrong, but treating a 1099 is just a sneaky way to avoid taxes, or thinking a W-2 means you're somehow less of a boss, that's a huge mistake.
Because it really comes down to this one question. Who actually controls the schedule, the prices, and the client list? Calling someone a 1099 contractor doesn't magically make them one in the eyes of the IRS. The law looks strictly at the cold hard facts. If a salon operates like an employer, telling you exactly when to work, what uniform to wear, and how to perform a service, but pays you on a 1099, that is incredibly dangerous. Your paperwork absolutely must match the reality of who is controlling the work and the money.
Next up, Section 4, the beauty expense map.
We've got to stop throwing around the phrase "write it off" like it's some magic spell for free money. We need to elevate the humble receipt from a crumpled piece of trash at the bottom of your bag to a powerful shield for your business. The tax system doesn't run on you simply knowing you spent the money. It runs strictly on records. Your receipt is literally your memory made official. Without it, your entire year is just a blur. But with it, your year becomes a highly professional, totally defendable file.
And this means you've got to categorize things properly. By logically grouping items like putting your monomer, gloves, and foils under service supplies, completely separate from the retail inventory you're going to sell, or your booth rent, you draw a strict boundary between your personal life and your business costs. Bought a ring light? Great, that might be equipment. But you can't just toss everything into a mental bucket called stuff I bought for work. And quick reality check, just because you want to look good for your clients doesn't make your personal clothes or your own grooming an automatic business deduction. So to completely stop that horrible tax season scramble, you can just use the 3-folder method. It ensures every single receipt gets an immediate, honest home. Folder 1 is ready. This is for clear, itemized business expenses, like acetone or your booking software. Folder 2 is review. This is for those tricky mixed-use items, like your cell phone bill or a trip, where you really need to ask a CPA how to split the cost. And folder 3 is personal. That's for your family groceries and normal living expenses. Please, don't try to force questionable stuff into the ready folder just hoping to lower your taxes. Keep it in review and let a professional make the call.
Which brings us to our final part, Section 5, the beauty tax calendar. Let's replace that absolute April panic with a smooth, year-round rhythm. Because realistically, most tax problems don't actually start in April. They start way back in January when funds get mixed up. Tax prep should be spread out. It makes it a totally manageable routine rather than a ruined weekend. Daily, you just log your income. Monthly, you organize those receipts. Quarterly, you review your profit and make your estimated payments. And then, annually, you file with absolute confidence.
A simple monthly closeout literally transforms you from an overwhelmed worker into a confident business operator who always knows exactly where they stand. At the end of every month, just track what came in, file the receipts for what went out, double-check your booth rent or payroll, and actually write down any questions you have for your CPA. Confusion shouldn't just live in your head. Write it down so you can get real answers before a tiny hiccup turns into a huge headache.
So I'll leave you with this one question to think about. When you step back and look at your receipts, your contracts, and your logs, does your paperwork actually match your reality? Because your documentation isn't just a boring chore. It is the ultimate proof of your professional dignity. It's exactly how you prove your worth, protect your family, and build an economic life you can truly be proud of. Take control of your records today, and you absolutely take control of your future. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next Explainer.